my life a quarter mile at a time.
But things changed. I'm a father now. I will always be in your heart.
Hello, everybody, and welcome for the first time in over a year, a film seizure at the movies.
Yeah. Actually at the movies.
Actually at the movie. Actually going to a movie and not watching something streaming first.
Yeah.
My name is Geoff Arbuckle.
My name is Jason Oliver.
Our Ride or Die's here.
Ride or Die.
Yep. We have a whole history with this franchise we'll be getting to here in just a moment. But, so this is, this is awesome. This is momentous. This is important.
Yeah. You know, the last movie I saw in a theater was an old movie. It was Aliens.
That's right.
Down at the Art Craft in Franklin, Indiana.
Yeah.
I had not seen a movie in the theater since it had been well over a year.
The last time I went to a movie was with our Film Seizure co-host Chuck and saw the rhythm section.
Oh, Jesus.
And that wasn't very good.
Yeah.
That wasn't a very good experience.
Did you do it at the movies for that?
No. Wait, that's not true. That is not true.
That's not the last movie you saw in the theater?
I don't believe it was. The last movie I saw in the theater that was new was Invisible Man.
I didn't see that in the theater. I'm trying to remember what the last movie I saw that was new in the theater, and I cannot for the life of me remember.
We see that's what happens with a pandemic.
Yeah.
You forget things, and things, it gets weird. It gets weird.
And much like the 9th installment of the Fast and the Furious franchise,
Fast 9, F9.
I didn't think I remembered a lot of the previous 8 movies and the spin-off Hobbs and Shaw, right? But I remembered more than I remembered remembering.
Well, you spotted one character before I did, which is cool. So a little bit of the last Fast and the Furious movie came out before we started this podcast.
Oh my God, is that real?
That's real.
We did it at the movies for Hobbs and Shaw.
Yes,
we did not really care for Hobbs and Shaw.
No, it was slapdash.
Yeah,
is what I would call that movie.
It felt like a cash in.
Yeah.
And it didn't really pay much attention to some of the things I think we like about the Fast and the Furious movies.
Outside of the two main characters, right. There were plenty of missteps beyond that.
Yeah. It almost felt like a weird kind of like Abbott and Costello routine.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that.
It was like Abbott and Costello on testosterone.
Yeah. Right.
Which is interesting because that doesn't really work. And yet there's a lot of ribbing, particularly between two of the main characters, of Ludacris and Roman.
Tyrese.
Tyrese.
Yeah.
And that works every time. In fact, they do something in this movie to which I leaned over and it's like, these are the exact two characters I want to do this thing.
Yeah. I feel like Ludacris gets some kind of corny lines.
Sure.
But he pulls it off.
What lines in this movie aren't
I know. At one point you're like, man, a lot of the dialogue in this, 50% I think you said is really vapid. And I was like, just 50%? But yet there is heart.
Yes.
In this movie.
So a little bit of history here real quick, just in case we probably did talk about this with Hobbs and Shaw.
Probably.
But
it was
a good day of brain mush.
Yeah.
Because many moons ago, whenever the sixth movie came out.
Yes.
You and I went and saw we wanted to go see the sixth one, but it's like I had only remembered seeing the first two and maybe the third one. I might have seen Tokyo Drift in the theater.
I'd only seen the first 3, and I'm pretty sure I saw them all in the theater.
Right. Well, I know I saw the first 2 in the theater because I worked at the movie theater at the time. And I was like, you know what? This Fast and Furious movie is pretty good because it reminded me of Point Break.
Right.
I mean, it just copied Point Break.
The fourth one you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about the first one.
Oh, the very first one. Oh,
first
yeah,
one.
I guess it kind of is Point Break, yeah.
So, and I was like, I like this because of this. And then I remembered not liking the second one.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
Although that is where we get Ludacris and Tyrese.
Yeah. Which
are fantastic. But the third one I remember being like, oh, where's Vin Diesel? Where's Paul Walker? What is this?
Yeah.
And then so what we decided to do was like, okay, let's watch all 5 of the previous ones and then go see the 6th one, which we ended up having to go out to the west side, which is someplace we never go.
Did we?
Yes, because we waited too long. Yeah.
It was in second run, basically.
Well, it wasn't in second run, but it was one of those things where it's like, okay, it is only playing at like 6:45, so we got to watch 5 movies, and we started early.
We did,
and we drank Nos, and we went to it, and so we watched all the first 5, and then we went and saw the 6th one,
mm-hmm.
and then since then we went and saw the 7th one in the theater. We saw the 8th one, which we were a little down on the 8th one. It just didn't have quite the same oomph that the other ones did.
Right.
That too was a little slapdash. And then Hobbs and Shaw.
Right.
And here we are.
Yes.
And our first movie back after a pandemic. And I'm gonna have to give this a 5 out of 5. or a fast 9 out of 9.
I have to say, I would be lying if I said I didn't enjoy this movie.
This movie's really fun.
It is ridiculous fun. I mean, look, it's dumb, it's stupid, it's a Fast and Furious movie, and I'm probably a little colored by the fact that it's the first movie I've seen in a theater in like 18 months.
Right.
Or not quite that long, but pretty long. It's we saw it in the Dolbys.
Yeah.
So
I
came out with my face flattened from sound.
Yep.
It is a spectacle of unbelievable spectacles, and it is incredibly fun.
It is. It really, really is. And I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, this is how I look at this. Because I'm thinking about like, it's so perfect that they put the James Bond trailer before this movie, mm-hmm. because we're 10 movies deep into this franchise, right? And while it is 9 with the primary cast that is in this movie, and yes, I said 9, that even includes 3.
Yeah.
So look forward to that. But
and those are some of my favorite moments.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we ended up liking 3 a lot more.
We did.
When we watched it during that marathon. But so it was one of those situations where it's like, this movie is its own genre now. It has its own formula. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And either you like these movies or you don't.
It kind of takes, almost every movie sort of takes a castaway or a former Bond villain plot.
Right.
And it's like, but it's not really what they only take the villain or the MacGuffin. It's just there to propel ridiculous action.
Exactly.
And to bring these characters together.
Right.
These characters who, as sort of one-dimensional as some of them are just fun to revisit. Yeah,
it's like I want to hear Dom talk about the importance of family.
Yeah.
I want Letty to kind of kick Dom in the balls a little bit. It's like, come on, man, let's do this.
Yep.
We're a thing. This is our family.
This is our thing. This is what we do.
This is what we do. Yeah. Exactly. She actually said that. And then of course when Ludacris and Tyrese and the hacker lady show up, it's like, oh boy, we got a movie now. These 3 are here now.
The gang's getting back together.
The gang's all here.
I just feel like those 3 just hang out all the time.
Yeah. Like I think Ludacris really wants to get it.
Oh, he totally
get
does.
some action from Ramses. But then but Tyrese is always hanging around asking when the next meal is.
He's the awkward third wheel that just ruins any possibility of romance.
Right. To the point where it's like those two have just found other people to be with.
Yeah, it's like it's just easier this way.
Yeah, and so it's these little things like that are what we like about these movies, is because we can kind of have our head canon around what it would be like to hang out with Ludacris and Tyrese.
We should mention that this is also the first Fast and the Furious movie since the 7th or 6th that Justin Lin is back. We just talked about this.
6th. 7th was James Wan.
He did 3, 4, 5, and 6. James Wan did 7.
Right.
And F. Gary Gray did 8.
Right. Yeah. And
so Justin Lin is back in the director's chair, and he is pulling out all of his tricks.
Yep. Like he did 3, 4, 5, and 6, which are probably our favorites.
Yeah.
I mean, we might have I think 5 and 6 are like heads and shoulders above the everything else in this franchise. But I mean, 3 and 4 and 9 are, that's the top 5.
Yeah, it really is, and we've talked about this personally and a little bit in the Hobbs and Shaw episode, but these movies have transformed themselves. They reinvented themselves with 4.
Yes,
really, to become this amalgam of street car racing culture, melting pot culture, and spy shit. Yeah.
and international intrigue.
And against all odds, it works.
Yes. It shouldn't. It really shouldn't. It does.
And it's this kind of post-racial cast and franchise. I mean, everyone is represented, but it's never really winked at.
No.
It's natural, and they've come together over so many movies in a natural way, and it's never they never even they I don't know. It's just refreshing to have this melting pot of a cast work so seamlessly together without ever really bringing attention to itself. Right.
Like the only time that I can ever really remember, and of course this is, recency bias, I guess, but the bad guy brings up the fact that Dom's heritage is mixed.
Right.
And it's like, so?
Yeah. So who cares?
Yeah. Well, I guess not technically Dom's, the Toretto.
Right.
Because we have 2 brothers in this movie.
Right. Is it a spoiler?
No.
Who John Cena is?
Yeah, John Cena is Jacob Toretto.
And what world is Vin Diesel and John Cena brothers? But you know what?
In what world are they the same height? In this world.
Yeah. And I love to in the flashbacks, which are really well done.
Yeah, they really are.
Dom is so much taller than Cena, Jacob. Yeah. But then later on, John Cena is clearly taller.
Yeah.
And you even made a mention, it's like Vin Diesel's standing on a soapbox right now.
Yeah. He 100% is, because I don't think Vin Diesel is I don't think he's 6 feet, and I'm pretty sure that John Cena is 6'3", 6'4", something like that. He's a big dude.
He's 6'1". John Cena is.
Okay, so 6'1". All right.
And I'm pretty sure Vin Diesel ain't anywhere close to that.
Right. I feel like I could probably look at him eye to eye.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if we find out.
Oh well, Vin Diesel's 6'0", so maybe he wasn't standing on a soapbox.
He is proportionally not 6 feet. Let's put it that way.
Also, I wouldn't put it past Vin Diesel to have hacked the internet to given himself a few more inches of height. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We also have let me just say there is a bit character in this. I don't think this is a spoiler really. It's not in the trailers, but Michael Rooker.
Oh yeah.
Has a bit part in this. I hope that in future installments we get all of the different Guardians of the Galaxy. Like Vin Diesel's just made friends with all of them.
Oh, man.
Bradley Cooper is the bad guy in the next one.
Well, yeah, or they could bring what's his name, Drax. What's that actor?
Oh yeah, totally.
Can't remember his name. Dang.
Yeah, right. I know. Right. Yeah. I mean,
he'd be a great bad guy, and then of course
he'll go good.
He'll go good. Yeah, because that's what these movies do. They introduce a bad guy, and
then they bring him into
the family.
Exactly. But so really, if you've seen
Dave Bautista.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you. We're still a little juiced.
We are. I got a head full of nos.
Yeah. So if you've seen a Fast and Furious movie, you've seen Fast 9. But I will say that it's always it's like a puzzle, right? Like each Fast and Furious movie, particularly after 3, because the first 3 are just generic street racer. Yeah. People have the first 2 were about crimes being committed that then Brian had to go in and do something about, and Brian was Paul Walker,
right?
And he he uses some of the friends that he meets in the races to get to the solving the crime, right?
Yep.
Well, so in the third one it was a troubled teen, and he it's like, okay,
gets mixed up with the wrong crowd, but meets friends and finds his calling, right?
And he becomes basically like a badass mechanic.
Yeah.
And he learns how to drift.
He is in this movie, and I love him. I love him. His face is a mix of bewildered and joy throughout the whole thing when he's on screen, and it's just great. He's so happy to be there,
right?
And I love it.
Yeah. Well, and he is one of our audience characters.
Yes.
Mia is another one.
Most definitely.
Jordana Brewster at one point is being told a lot of information.
We're basically her.
Yeah, because she has this perpetual resting confused face in this series sometimes.
And it cuts to her several times. It's one of those scenes where I feel like it knows what it's doing. This movie winks at itself several times.
Oh, yeah. There is one huge subplot. And conversation that happens early on where it's like, this movie knows itself very well.
Know thyself, Justin Lin. He certainly does. It is the funniest sort of just kind of meta joke,
right?
That is I know exactly what these movies are.
Justin Lin listened to podcasts and learned this is what people say about these movies. And it passes the sniff test for a lot of people, despite.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. Yeah, I hear you.
Oh yeah.
I hear you.
Oh yeah.
I'm with you. So yeah, and so she's being just told all this information. She's just kind of dumbfounded, and Jason leaned over and was like, "She is us," and I'm like, "Yeah, yeah,
yep."
So really, just to kind of say about Fast 9. Or Fast and Furious 9 or F9. This has so many different titles. I feel like it's Italian. Which sometimes things happen in it that's like, this is an Italian movie.
It's probably like Troll 12 in Italy.
That would be amazing. It's like, who's the troll? Well, it's Dom.
Yeah.
It's Dom. No, so yeah, it's like here's the bottom line. And I knew this going in. Bitches love Fast and Furious. And I know because it's me. I'm bitches. I love this movie.
The ability for Justin Lin to continually retcon the story.
And it still makes sense.
And it still makes sense. It is because I know that motherfucker didn't have some of this shit in mind.
17 years
Yeah,
ago?
right, exactly. Yeah. But he's somehow able to make it work. And it is, like you said, a puzzle. It's
right.
Like, how are they going to bring all these people back and fit them in a way that
it's all the same pieces
that works reasonably well?
Right. It's all the same pieces. It's a different picture every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so
that's you know what's funny about that is usually in these movies there's that scene where they have to find the pieces of the puzzle, literally,
right,
to get all the clues they need to find the bad guy. And it's usually in those scenes where they are pulling in all of these ancillary characters from the previous movies. And in a normal movie, that's kind of like where the movie drags.
Right.
In these movies, it's where a lot of the fun is.
Well, it's like you go to a party and people keep coming in through the door that you haven't seen
You're
since
like,
high school.
Oh, you!
It's like,
yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, right, exactly. And it's like, oh my God. And of course, this being the first movie back after a pandemic, like when everybody is getting together, it's like, oh my God, how's it going?
Would you say it's like family?
It is. It's very much like family.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm cracking my Corona.
Oh, yeah.
Having a barbecue. Who's saying grace?
Oh, it's going to be Lil B.
Little B.
It's going to be Lil B.
Yep.
But Big B's on his way. So, yeah, this is just, it was a breath of fresh air. This movie look, we know these movies are dumb, but you know what? They're awesome.
Yeah.
And they're awesomely dumb. And I watched Action USA last night with my brothers. It was like family, you know.
Yeah.
It was the whole thing. It was
Yeah.
like family. And it was really like I was sitting there watching that movie and I'm thinking, this is it. This is the perfect movie to watch before I go to see the new Fast and Furious movie. So yeah, this was a blast. Now,
Do you know what they should have renamed this movie to? Is Fast and Magnets. Because there are a lot of fucking magnets in this movie.
well, there's always one big thing, right? In all of these movies, like the big MacGuffin.
Yeah.
You know.
But the MacGuffin in this wasn't magnets. Magnets was just something that they kind of were like, ooh, what can we do with magnets?
Sure. It's like, well, we'll catch cars with magnets.
There are several obviously there's several action sequences, but there are several car chase sequences like a good Fast and the Furious movie will have. But there was one in particular in the final act that is one of the finest pieces of car chase action that I've ever seen. Like it is outrageously ridiculous, and it does a really good job of blending practical effects and special effects, computer generated effects. I mean, sometimes you're like, that's not, you could definitely, when you've got bodies like catching themselves on hoods of cars.
Some cars are like baseball mitts.
Yeah.
And some cars are like
is like the secondary.
air cannons.
That is like the secondary function of a car in this movie is to catch soft human tissue.
Yeah, perfectly.
and gently place you back on the ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. I don't think a giant flying bird could do any better as far as like picking you up, catching you in midair, putting you back down softly. Superman would not do as well as these guys do.
I brought my hands to my face in absolute utter disbelief more times than I can count. It is the ridiculousness of the things that happen in the action scenes are just beyond the pale.
Yes,
but again, is the part of the fun of these movies. If you have to just allow it to happen, you have to laugh. And I think that Justin Lin knows that he's doing this to make you laugh and to bring you some sort of just stupid glee to your life.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And by the way, I think Justin Lin stopped making these movies because he went and did Star Trek Beyond.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
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 But anyway, this is worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
It really is.
You're gonna have fun.
Yeah.
It is the one criticism I could possibly lay at the feet of these movies. That they don't feel self-contained. They're not self-contained stories in a sense,
no, because
they rely so much on the previous installments,
and they always are setting up the next one.
Right. Which that's fine, but
you can set up the next one.
If you haven't seen a Fast and Furious movie, you're gonna probably be like, huh?
Yeah.
Even more than we were at the plot sometimes.
to be honest with you, the way that the Fast and Furious movies work now, 1, 2, and 3 are so antiquated now that really you can just watch 4. Yeah. And read a little bit in Wikipedia and get the rest of it.
Yeah, you kind of It's tricky though because 3 is almost like the cornerstone now,
kind of
the whole damn franchise.
Right.
Yeah.
Which at the time that it came out, then it had to be rewritten where it lands in the continuity. And now it is sediment now.
Yeah.
It is actually in the.
I mean, you can't dispense it. It's
Right.
It's integral. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's even more integral now.
True.
Yeah.
So okay, just watch all 9 movies.
Yeah, just do it.
And then watch if you like The Rock and you like Jason Statham, go and watch Hobbs and Shaw too. I mean, go for it. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. These movies are great.
Yeah. I will say, if you're holding out hope for The Rock to show up, and like maybe there's by some miracle he and Vin Diesel have buried the hatchet. They haven't. The Rock is not in this movie. Don't look for him. You'll be disappointed.
I wonder.
I will, however, say that a certain Shaw may or may not make a post-credit sequence appearance.
Yes, I thought it was.
So stick around.
I thought that post-credit sequence was Nick Fury showing up to tell Captain America he's got a mission.
Fuck, even Helen Mirren is in this movie.
Yes.
So great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gosh, yeah, this is a fun movie. Now, one thing I was saying, just kind of put a bow on this, I guess. One of the things I really appreciate about this movie is that for all the silly testosterone action there is in this, and the it's like when I did my B-movie Anima article on XXX, I made a point to even make an image of to fit this joke that I made that Vin Diesel is just a meatball sandwich on a neck. And that's like he's just a meatball sub.
Yep.
Person.
Sub person.
Yeah, he's a sub person. And and it's like
he's not less than a person.
No. He's a meatball sub.
He's a meatball
person.
Sub person. Yes.
Right. No, he's a meatball sub. But as a person, I don't know what's so hard to understand about this. If you go to that article, I made a picture of him as a meatball sub.
It'll all become clear.
So, but and it's like, yeah, it's very meat-headed.
Yeah,
and it is very, very much, and certainly was for those first 3 or 4 movies a boys' series, right?
Yeah.
However, this movie is the anti-toxic masculinity movie, and I don't really like that term. I don't really like the term toxic masculinity. I think it needs workshopped badly, but because I think it's also misused in a lot of places. But for all the masculine tough guys out there who are like, oh, you're a pussy if you have emotions. These movies are pure emotion.
Yeah.
It's all about family. It's all about letting those people into your life and forgiveness, and standing up for an ideal, even if the ideal is kind of lazily plotted.
Finding a deeper understanding of one another.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, we've said it before. It's like this is, there are many movies in this series that take the bad guy and then make them part of the crew.
Yeah.
In a later installment. So, and that's good because I think it is teaching. There are going to be young teenage kids watching these movies that may see that it's okay to have a softer side. It's okay to, it's like, I mean, it's a far away from being a complete and total feeling human being, but there is still something that kind of cracks that masculine veneer.
Yeah,
if you will.
And not only that, but again, there isn't even, they don't even comment on that. It's because the women in these movies are just as tough, just as capable.
Yeah.
Jordana Brewster is back.
Yeah.
As Dom's sister, and she's kind of gets plugged right in there, and it makes sense. Yes. It works, and she holds her own. She doesn't need, no one needs to be saved. In fact, the one person of the crew that needs to be saved in this movie is Dom.
Yeah.
Which and who's he saved by? He's saved by Michelle Rodriguez, a woman, and it's pretty. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. The softest character in these last few movies is Ramsey's.
Yeah.
And yet she still has a moment to prove capable, and yet she's still capable in other ways too.
It's kind of like the Whistler driving the truck blind scene in Sneakers, but it's really fun.
Right.
Yeah.
But but she's, like there are many times where we see her when she's in the car with with Han in the big final action scene, and she's just wide-eyed, like, what am I doing? And it's like, I am too, watching this destruction all around us, like mouth agape, wide-eyed. It's like, I don't think I could function in this world.
Oh my!
But I love watching this world.
I think I think we knew, and this is in the trailers, but I think we knew what we were again in for with the scene on the rope bridge. Where the car somehow miraculously defies physics, which later on, wink wink, Ludacris makes a whole speech about how you can't fuck with physics,
right?
And you and if as long as the math is good, then you're going to be okay. And it's like, well, this movie just does not care about physics at all. But
nobody is scribbling down numbers on a napkin,
right? but they pretend.
and you know what? That's good enough.
It's good enough.
It's good enough for this series. So yeah, if you like these movies, go see it.
Yeah.
I mean, go to a theater.
See it in the loudest possible, biggest possible, loudest possible theater you can.
And in the crowdest.
Yeah.
I mean, one part of me thought it's like, damn, we should have gone to the drive-in because down in Shelbyville, they've got this with Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh, that's fun.
Right after. So it's like, oh, God, that would have been great.
It'd be fun to see that the second time.
Sure.
Because honestly, I can't imagine a better presentation than what we saw today.
The Dolby at AMC did us just fine.
Yeah, sure did.
Yeah. So but go see this movie. Well, in the meantime, we have new episodes of Film Seizure every Wednesday. This upcoming Wednesday is the final of our kind of we got some suggestions from people month. And we got Goodfellas coming out. So that's a good movie to pair with this, I would say, with Fast 9.
Sure, yeah. It makes perfect sense.
But it's just a bunch of guys doing stuff, you know. That's on filmseizure.com. And also catch it on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, and Audible. We also upload the stuff to YouTube. Every Monday, we got Monster Mondays. I don't remember what this Monday's is. Oh, I failed.
Fail. It's okay.
Fail.
It's all right.
Anyway, it's all right. But anyway, if you go to filmseizure.com, we got a little calendar.
We probably,
got upcoming.
We probably told them on Wednesday. So
probably did.
Yeah.
But yeah, over on filmseizure.com, on the side of the page, there's a little what's coming up sort of thing. So check that out. I also have B-Movie Enema, bmovieenema.com, all that stuff. Follow both pages, Film Seizure, B-Movie Enema. You can go to Facebook, Twitter, do those things. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Smash that motherfucking like button. Run a car right into that thumbs up.
With magnets.
Yeah. So yeah, I think this is a successful return to the theater.
Feels good.
Feels real good to be back in the theater.
Feels like family.
It sure does. The family. Yeah. Then next time I'm going to do a Film Seizure at the movies, probably the night of July 8th for Black Widow.
Oh, okay.
So hey, Marvel's back too. So
yes, they are.
Let's do it. Let's do it, baby. All right. So until next time. I'm Geoff Arbuckle.
I'm Jason Oliver.
And don't forget to save me the spot at the end of the aisle. I don't even remember what I said for
save
this.
Me the aisle seat.
Yeah, save me for yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Let's do that again.
All right.
Don't forget to save me the aisle seat. It's just family.
It's just family.
It's fine.
No one outruns their past.
I am more easy, you trying your best to become me.
And mine just caught up to me. Been a long time downtown.